Everybody happy with the new brand? Dale, you feel right at home in red?
Hell yeah.
All right, well listen, this was a tremendous effort, and I think it's an auspicious day. This last weekend marked the 71st anniversary of D-Day. And we tried to time the launch simultaneous, and actually it was rolled out Saturday. The IT team, the communications team, production team did a phenomenal job. Worked tirelessly over the weekend so we'd be ready for this moment. So thank you. So I would just like to point out that while the war was won on the battlefields, it was really enabled by the industrial might of the United States. And I think it's interesting to think about it, but we are all direct descendants of that industrial engine that enabled the United States and its allies to win. Now, the military, in order to project power, really relies on companies like IAP. So I thank all of you for all of your. All right, so I'm pleased to announce the refresh and reconstitution of our IAP brand. This represents a long, thoughtful journey to understand the meaning of IAP. Let me tell you why this is important to you and to the company. First of all, this is a remarkable team, and it exemplifies a standard of excellence in the government services industry. And as a leader, I'm proud to serve you and our customers. The work that we do requires extraordinary effort with ingenuity and purpose. We conduct operations in places with great physical risk and also a lot of emotional stress. We do this work for an exacting customer serving in their own capacity, their own way. For those of you serving overseas on behalf of IAP and our business units, G3 and RMS, I salute you and thank you for your commitment to the company. All of you here and abroad exhibit our first brand pillar as much as anyone, and that pillar is ingenuity. You demonstrate this pillar by fulfilling a demanding mission with limited resources, and that requires innovation and also the ability to overcome challenges. The work that we do also requires a dedication to service that transcends the normalcy of our peers working at other companies and other industries. You should be proud of yourselves in serving such a fine company and an important mission. Many of you have given your professional lives to this company, and for that I thank you and am grateful to work with you each and every day. When I visited our team in Annapolis, I emphasized to them that they should be proud to come to work every day where the mission of the client is fundamental to the company. And I'll paraphrase that mission, quote, to develop leaders morally, mentally, and physically, and to imbue them with the highest ideals of duty, honor, and loyalty, in order to dedicate a career of service and development in mind and character to assume the highest responsibilities of command, citizenship, and government. There are many people who go to work every day in search of their purpose. Our mission is of the highest purpose. It's to support those who protect the United States and its allies. Our client's mission is our mission, and therefore our second brand pillar is purpose. IAP means ingenuity and purpose. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the new IAP. So first of all, how did we get here? Well, we started back in the fall. We engaged a firm called Graphic. It's a branding and advertising firm. One of the reasons why we engaged them is they're actually much more, in my view, than a branding and advertising firm. They're actually a strategic consulting firm that communicates through brand and advertising. And we felt it was high time for the company to revisit and really understand the meaning of IAP. So we're going to go through this pitch here. You're going to understand how we arrived at IAP. And it was really by talking to more than 54 interviewees, key stakeholders across the company, employees, customers, partners, asking them a series of regimented questions and then coming back and distilling what that all meant. And so today's output is really a result of that. So, first question, how many people have been asked, what does IAP mean? Yeah, pretty much, okay? So, International American Products, we don't really make a whole lot of products, notwithstanding G3, who we have visiting today, thank you very much. We're a services company, but it's really beyond that. It's not the existential question, but it really is, what do we stand for as a company? Well, we quickly focused on if we could solve for both, basically what we do as a company and also deciphering what IAP means, that would be a double win. So that's quickly where we started to focus. One of the first things that came out of all of these stakeholder interviews is that IAP people are proud and passionate. So we're going to go through some of the actual quotes that came out of the interview. We are supporting our nation and those guys on the front. Okay, so this is internal interviews. Later on, we're going to visit some of the external interviews. I love this company. Working for this company makes me feel proud to be an American. We are people who go above and beyond. We've got your back. People have pride in their work. They want to do a good job. There's a lot of pride here. That's great. That's fundamental to a services company. It's hard to be effective as a services company if you're not proud of the enterprise you work for and passionate about the work, okay? We are dedicated to our customers. Okay, so we're going to hear some of the external interviews. Some of these were pretty funny when they came back. Funny, but enlightening. So this is what some of our folks internally said. Our mission is to make our customers' missions successful. When I think of IAP, it is a soldier walking out of uniform into civilian clothes. We are dedicated 100% to the customer mission. Now let's hear what some of our customers have to say. They support the customer's mission. They instill a strong sense of ownership of being a part of the client's mission. Lastly, ownership. IAP feels like they own the problem, they own the solutions, they work it like it is their house to fix. It's one of the key elements in my own interviews as I've talked to customers is that there's a lot of times a blending of the customer and our employees, and it's pretty interesting to hear that feedback, and it is really critical to our success. We follow through and don't back down. Here's some of the external reviews. If I give it to IAP, I know they can get the job done. IAP has never let us down. Think about all of your interactions as a customer in life when you're purchasing a product or service. These are powerful statements. To have a brand that never lets you down, think of how few brands there are, how few companies there are that actually people can say that of. Whenever RMS delivers a task order, there's a sigh of relief. This is important because you'll see later we sustained the semi-independence, if you will, of RMS and G3 because of that customer intimacy, but we've now better integrated it, okay? We have a very high impression of their performance. To the left, they don't back down from tough challenges, and one of my favorites, if you asked IAP to put a clinic on Mars, they would probably do it, and I'd go with them because I know they will get it done. Right? So that's a pretty strong statement. We value veterans. They are critical to our success. Nearly 30% of our workforce are veterans. It's fundamental. Obviously, our customers, a lot of our customers are active duty. So here's what the internal interview said. IAP could be an incubator for veteran employees. Our veteran hiring initiative would help provide community in a different way. Being a veteran means being a part of something. When you talk to veterans, that's one of the biggest things that they miss is the camaraderie that they experience in small units and large units throughout the military. It's one of the toughest parts of transitioning to civilian deployment. Next, let's bridge the divide between veterans and non-veterans around a theme of service to the nation. Okay, let's talk about themes. So in all these interviews, we had to come back and distill, what did they all mean? Well, there were 4 pillars that came out very clearly. First is unwavering focus. The second is unparalleled responsiveness. The third is superior capabilities. And the fourth is commitment to team. Now these themes are going to play out in our advertising and how we communicate to customers. Sometimes they'll be overt, sometimes they'll be more subtle. How did we come up with these themes? Well, we literally took all of the words written about IAP from internal and external stakeholders and racked and stacked them, rank ordered them, and started to find commonalities. So these are some of the words used to describe IAP. Owning, passionate, loyal. Tenacious, reliable, and Terry's favorite, deft. Okay, you don't see that word very often, but it's a good word. Agile, resourceful, solution-oriented. And lastly, ethical, supportive, expert. These are all great words, distilling down to those 4 themes. So what does IAP stand for? Ingenuity and purpose. Well, what does this mean? What does ingenuity and purpose mean from the perspective of how we're thinking about it? Ingenuity is that special combination of experience, skill, and smarts that allows us to discover fresh, often unexpected ways to deliver the best possible solutions. It's the ability of the human mind to take what are often very limited resources and capabilities and still get the job done. Purpose, unyielding commitment to our customers and their mission, our fierce determination to succeed, and the deep-rooted knowledge that we're supporting those to keep our nation and allies strong and secure. All right, so that's how we're going to use that language as we talk to existing customers, new customers, so on and so forth. So what is the overarching brand statement? Right, a lot of times you land on a website and there's a paragraph about the company, what it is they do. This is essentially ours. Customers around the world consistently rely on IAP to deliver ingenious solutions to their most demanding challenges. They know IAP can quickly deploy teams of highly skilled individuals who have the experience to tackle the toughest assignments with tenacity and agility. Experts whose unwavering commitment to the mission ensures optimal results in any situation. Does everyone think that's consistent with how they think about IAP? Good. Okay, what does it mean for our company? Why did we go through this exercise? Well, first of all, it brings clarity and meaning to our name. We said first and foremost, we had a lot of people, we even had customers scratching their head and say, what does IAP stand for? It's not that it's necessarily that important, you would think, but it is important at some level because it helps define who the company is and not let others define it. Unites our company around a shared vision. We all know the mission, the brand statement, the vision of the business. Differentiates our services and selling proposition. This is really important. For those who went through the interviews with Graphic, do you recall the sea of sameness exercise where we took all the words from our competitors and how they described them? Okay, how many people got all the competitors right? Okay, yeah, so it was maybe 1 or 2 out of 50, right? So it was really interesting to see that all of our direct competitors describe themselves the same way. Well, we don't want to do that. We need to shift and differentiate ourselves in this market. Lastly, we now have a foundation to raise awareness of our brand. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. How does this actually get realized in a branding context? So what's our goal? If you think about the industry as an X and Y axis, sort of low tech to the left, higher tech, and not necessarily software engineering, but more innovation using COTS technologies, off-the-shelf type work. But it's really the integration capability that we can differentiate ourselves around. Fewer audiences and markets at the top versus broad. Well, when we got here a year ago, we were probably even lower left of MCOR, okay, because the company was engaged in a lot of different activities, a lot of commercial activities. We started to move up that quadrant a little bit, focus a little bit more back on the U.S. government and its allies. And our goal ultimately is to continue to focus the business on the things that we're successful in and to leverage technologies to be more differentiated in our marketplace. So, how do we communicate this to our current customers versus new customers? Well, first of all, with current customers, IAP is a reinvigorated company driven by ingenuity and purpose with a clear mission of solving their We have core capabilities and long-established track record in government services, power, and expeditionary infrastructure. You may ask why we focused on these three verticals in terms of lifting them out. Not only are they capabilities of the company, but they're also very different buyers' journeys. So when you think about it, somebody coming to provision government services from IAP is going to have a different perspective and a different approach than somebody looking to buy power or looking to buy customized container kit for deployment overseas. So from the moment the person lands on the page, if they're a government services client, they're going to immediately start to go down that buyer's funnel. If they just want power, they can quickly jump to that. And if they just want to focus on G3's capability and expeditionary kit, they can quickly focus on that. So it's reorienting our services that are offering to reflect the customer sets that we have today. Third, we are committed to your mission and will do whatever is necessary to ensure success. And we want you to see us as part of your team. Remember that integrated approach with the client. Lastly, we want to be your partner for the long term. And you can be sure that every project we take on with you will include our top experts and most ingenious thinkers. How would this play out, right? So here's an example of a billboard ad. Everybody's seen this on the website is kind of the top third. Eventually this will be rotating imagery on the website, so it'll start to vary a little bit. Okay, so here's an example of an actual ad, all right? So that we came up with really kind of a couple campaigns. This is just one example, and this is the We Got This campaign. So you can see the sandstorm. Anybody who's experienced one of those knows it's not pleasant. So what does that mean? Well, here's an example of a metro ad, right? So we're focused on DOD. There's a metro station that actually tens of thousands of people go in and out of every day. What if we started advertising there a little bit? We'd be judicious. It is an investment. Or similarly, Department of State. We want to grow our business there. Well, that's Foggy Bottom Metro. So you have thousands of people coming in and out of there. They're Department of State focused. So this is an example. You can read that. No matter what nature throws at us, we deliver the goods, especially when the goods are letters from home to U.S. troops in Iraq. Everybody like that? Looks good, right? Okay, here's another one. We'll take it from here. All right, so picture of a hurricane. We make your toughest challenges our own, like delivering millions of gallons of drinking water to victims of Hurricane Sandy. It's very powerful because it takes the things that our clients know for. When I met with the Army Corps of Engineers head, he immediately, as soon as he knew we were from IAP, Rick Nummery, remember the conversation, the first thing he brought up was the power work that we did at Hurricane Sandy and how that literally really saved him with a lot of the pressures that he was getting from the White House and elsewhere to get things moving. He remembered specifically how IAP delivered on power projects for Hurricane Sandy. It's very powerful. All right, so this is a takeover concept. So if we wanted to do a little bit larger investment in a subway, for instance, metro station, we might string these along in a storyboard. All right, so now for our new customers, how do we position? It's just a slight adjustment. IAP is a leading provider of government services, power, and expeditionary infrastructure. We can take on your toughest challenges because IAP stands for ingenuity and purpose. We will quickly deploy a team of experts that has the experience and know-how to solve problems quickly and effectively. And lastly, we are 100% committed to your mission and we will do whatever is necessary to ensure success. So how might we pitch new customers? Here's an example of, again, a storyboard concept. One storm of historic proportions, 10 million citizens without power, 10 billion gallons of undrinkable water. See what we did to help IAP.services /Sandy. Okay. This is about elevating IAP's image in the industry, reaching out, doing some targeted advertising, and informing people of all the phenomenal work that this company does. Here's it playing out on the subway. All right, so next is the IAP logo system. This is now standardized, integrated, so you can see G3 RMS have their own distinct icon that they can use in their own materials. But this is important. So now we go from a lot of different variations of the system, but now we have one. We also have unified marks. Okay, so now you see the application in various business materials. Some of you have those. Everybody get their kit. All right, the new website. The website's responsive now, so it'll of course adjust based on your mobile device or tablet. Next, it's going to play out in events. Our website's launched. Current customers are going to get a letter from us. We're launching the awareness campaign in the fall, and we've got a series of trade shows coming up. That's it. All right, so questions and answers. Any questions?
Pascal wants to model the sunglasses.
Already did.
All right. I hope everybody feels good about this. I think it, from my perspective, it looks remarkable and memorable, and but at the same time, an evolution of the past. I think that's good. It's healthy. All right. One last. There we go.
What was wrong with the old brand?
It's a good question. Nobody knew it. Nobody could find anything on the website. Nobody understood what the company did. When I say nobody, you know, the company, the customers who directly interacted with the company and provision services regularly, we're talking maybe dozens of people, knew the company, of course. But when you went out into the industry, one of the interesting things that we found out in the interviews is one customer, a senior official at the Pentagon, said, IAP was a company you used to hear about in this building, and you don't hear about them anymore. That is very telling, okay? Now, part of that, I think, was the financial pressure the company had. That's gone. Part of that was the company, frankly, abandoning its core customer in favor of commercial pursuits. Part of that was not having a demonstrative presence in the Washington, D.C. area that's focused at executive and a BD level. There's a host of things, but the brand was part of that. There was no investment in the brand. And so what was happening was not only were our customers not hearing about us, but our competitors were defining our company. And we can never do that. We can never let the competitors define who you are, other than, you know, IAP's taking all our business and complaining about it. That's a good thing. Does that make sense? All right, anything else? One more, Ulysses?
Yes. By any chance, did you change the discipline of the logo international airport?
The display where?
Melbourne International.
Oh, Melbourne? Probably not. So that's a good catch. I'm sure we're gonna catch a lot of, you know, things just like that. I think the comms, you know, production, all of the team has done a phenomenal job, but we'll continue to, you know, basically purge the old in favor of the new as much as possible. Go ahead.
I noticed that you guys are going to AUSA and some other big conferences. For years, several of us have espoused that with 20,000 membership of the National Contract Management Association and 50% of those being government, and our initial customers on every solicitation, every contract is a contracting officer and their related staff, that maybe we should run some of these kinds of ads in their journal and get a little more focus on those folks that are initial customers at
Sure.
those locations.
I think it's a good idea. Dale, maybe take that up into consideration. Okay, good. Anything else? Any other questions? All right, well, we got barbecue coming. So Rick Nomer will lead the charge on that. Thanks for everybody who dialed in via the internet too.